everyone, welcome to my channel. Susan's Just Making It. I'm Susan. I'm here making stuff, messes, chaos, and just making it through life. If you've been here before, welcome back. If not, I'm glad you decided to stop by and watch my video today. Hope everyone's doing well. And I just wanted to hop on here. I wasn't planning on doing a video today because I didn't really have any ideas for content, but I got to thinking about some things that have been going on with me the last few days, and I thought, well, you know, I do have a couple things I would like to share. As you can tell from the title, I want to talk today a little bit about perspective and gratitude. Anybody that's been watching my videos, I posted a video, I believe it was either late last week or over the weekend, I can't remember exactly what day it was, sharing that I've been struggling from depression quite a bit lately. And when my kids were growing up, I always told them that the best friends they had were the ones that told them what they needed to hear, not what they wanted to hear. And that a true friend was willing to tell you what you needed to hear and risk your friendship. And what comes to mind first is my older son has a friend, and they butt heads a lot. And he's always saying that his friend feels that he's kind of self-righteous and he's always trying to tell people like what to do or things like that. And I'm like, you know why you have a problem when these conversations come up? Because he's a real friend. He's telling you what you need to hear, not what you want to hear. The people that are always telling you what you want to hear sometimes are not genuine friends. But with that being said, I've talked to a couple people lately, and I'm the kind of person that when people first give me a little bit of advice or they point things out, I take it to heart initially, and I'm like, oh, ouch. And then I have to sit back and really think about what they said. And usually they're right, and usually that's exactly it. They're telling me what I need to hear, not what I want to hear. So with that being said, that's happened a couple of times within this last week. And the people that have done so, they know who they are. And you know, and the thing is, some of the advice I guess that was given to me brought me back to this whole thing about gratitude and perspective. A lot of times when we get in these moods, myself included, I'm guilty of it, and that's why I'm doing this video, is that we our perspective isn't clear. Lately I have been going through a lot of things. I've been having some financial issues, some medical issues, you know, just basic life type of things that I'm trying to wade through right now. And I'm the kind of person, and this does contribute to some of my depression, is that when things start going bad, they seem to snowball because I continue to focus on the negative, the negative, the negative, the negative. And I let myself become obsessed with that, and I don't take the time to look at any of the positives. The positives are there, but I get so wrapped up in the negative, I don't take the time to look at the positive. So I was talking to my aunt the other day. She's around 80 years old, so she's got life experience and you know, a certain amount of wisdom. And she initially sympathized with me. She's like, I understand where you're coming from. I understand the frustration with a lot of the things. You know, you have every right to feel the way you're feeling. But then toward the end of the conversation, she's like, you know, I know you're going through a lot of problems, but you do have a lot to be grateful for, you know. And she mentioned some stuff, and I'm like, yeah, you know, you're right. It could be worse. And that's why I try to tell myself when I get caught into how bad things are, I try to remind myself it could be worse, you know. And I don't care who you are, what you're going through, what your situation is, try to remind yourself it could be worse. It really could. So then she asked me about if I go to church, which I haven't in quite a few years, and she knows that. And I said no. She says, well, I really wish you would consider it, because sometimes you know, you'll get a world of good out of it, and you'll find that there's a community. Once you start going to church, people are willing to help you if they know that you have something you're struggling with. And that aside, when I was going to church, I've never really gone on an entirely regular basis, but sometimes more than others. I do find that I feel a lot better, and it's not so much the fellowship, it's not even so much the message. It's just reminding myself that there's someone greater than myself out there. And I have to put things into perspective, because she told me that maybe I should just try putting my faith in God. And everybody has their own beliefs, and I'm not on here trying to preach or anything like that. But maybe I should start to put my faith in God, you know, instead of carrying so much with me and trying to take on the weight and figure things out. And I got to thinking about it later that evening after I had talked to her, and I'm like, you know, she's right, because I'm always telling people the same thing, you know, like people that don't believe in a greater power or God or whatever you choose to believe. And I've said this to people before, that I really need to stop trying to have control over every situation and have faith, and even not even so much in a higher power or God or whatever. I just need to have faith, period. And faith, a lot of people don't really understand what faith is. It's not believing that everything's going to be fine and everything's going to be okay, because that's not entirely what faith is. Faith is maybe things aren't going to be perfectly all right, but you're going to be okay whether they are or not. And I'm saying that because throughout my life, as you get older, maybe younger people can't relate as much, but as you get older and you look back on your life, I've found myself in situations and circumstances that seemed really terrible at the time, and I struggled with a lot, and I thought, am I ever going to get out of this? Is it ever going to get any better? I've gotten myself into such a mess or whatever. But when I look back on it, it always has turned out okay. I survived it. I got through it. And a lot of times wasn't entirely my own doing. It's just things turned around. You know, things fell into line. Things happened when they were supposed to. And when I talk about it, I said, if that wasn't God looking out for me, what was it? You know? And like I said, you don't have to label it God or anything like that. But I think sometimes, for myself anyway, and a lot of times when I talk, I'm talking from my own experience. Sometimes, one of my biggest faults is that I always want to have control. I was a single parent. I was encouraged to be responsible and independent, and my parents held very high standards for me growing up. So I've always felt like I had to have control all the time. I was responsible for raising my kids, making sure they had everything they needed, that everything was going to be okay. I've been in relationships with people that didn't have the best adult skills, I guess you'd say, so I had to carry that load a lot. So I'm always have been used to having to be in control, and I still hold on to that, even though my life is a little bit different now. And the whole thing is, when I insist on having control, it's usually not a good thing. I'm putting so much energy into things I can't control. So when I realize I'm doing that, I need to step back and have a little faith and say, just breathe, let go of some of that control, and let things play out however they're supposed to be. So that goes into me talking about perspective. I mean, sometimes I have to step back and look at things a little differently. And when I first started talking about this stuff in my introduction and my mental health videos, I admitted that even though I'm throwing this stuff out there in my videos, this is stuff I struggle with. This is stuff I work on. I don't do any of this stuff perfectly by any means whatsoever. So, you know, a couple of people commented that I seem to have been in better spirits a couple days ago, and here and there, you know, I'd be feeling better for a few hours, then something would happen and I'd feel kind of crappy again. But like I said, after hearing advice from a couple people, I realized I need to change my perspective here. Like, things still are not going really great for me, but let it go and focus on something a little bit more positive is what I told myself. Like, even today, I went to the pharmacy to pick up a medication, and there was some insurance issues, and they're trying to contact the doctor to possibly prescribe something else. And I'm like, oh great, I've been on this medication for a long time. They finally found something that's working for me. I really don't want them messing up my meds. And I was getting myself caught in this, this is getting frustrating. I really don't want them to mess this up, and you know, it's always something. And then I came home and I'm like, you know what? I'm not going to give this any more thought today. Tomorrow, I'll wait and see if I hear from the doctor's office or the pharmacy. If not, tomorrow, I'll reach out. I'll make contact with the doctor's office and try to talk about it. And my older sister said, what about this other place that might be able to help you until you can get your insurance straightened out? I'm like, you know what? I forgot all about that place. I'll call and I'll talk to them. So instead of me sitting here today and obsessing about that and making myself feel worse, tomorrow I'll make some phone calls if I don't hear anything today, and I'll straighten it out. It's not the end of the world. I'll get it worked out, you know. And if I had still been as depressed as I was maybe a week ago, it really would have ruined my whole day. But I'll figure it out. I always do. So that's like what I had to say about perspective from what I've been dealing with anyway. I guess I'm just trying to say, if things seem really bad, sometimes step back and think about how you're perceiving the situation. For myself anyway, sometimes I always make a bigger deal out of things than they really are, and I'm not seeing the whole picture until it's pointed out. And like I said, a couple people have kind of pointed a few things out to me the last couple of days, and initially it kind of was a little slap in the face, because I don't like being called out on my crap. But I need to hear that sometimes. I need somebody to tell me when I'm getting out of line, and I need to start looking at things differently. So the people that have done that, I'm very grateful that they did, and I really do appreciate that, because sometimes I need to be knocked down a peg or two. So that's a little bit of what I've been trying to do the last couple of days, put things into perspective a little bit. And then I also wanted to talk about gratitude, and that's another thing I mentioned in my mental health video, is that if you're in a bad place, try to find something to be grateful for. And it's difficult to feel bad about everything if you go out and do something for somebody else. It's hard to feel really crappy about yourself if you're doing something to contribute to somebody's happiness, or you're doing something for them. So today, while I was out running errands, I picked up a couple things for a couple quick projects I want to do to show some appreciation for a couple people, and that made me feel a little bit better. I'm like, I want to do this, that, and the other, and when it's done, give it to this person, and that lifted my mood a little bit. And also, sometimes I get caught in this thing that it's a self-esteem thing. I wonder how much I mean to other people. Not so much that I rely 100% on other people's validation, but it's always nice to feel valued, and that's something I struggle with. So, anyway, I went out to my mailbox today, and I had this envelope in there, and I think it was there yesterday and just got missed because it was far down the mailbox. So I'm like, the mail hasn't come yet today. What's with this? So then I looked down and I saw the address, and I was taken aback, because it is actually an Easter card, and it's like a total surprise to me. It actually is from Pat, who is Blessed GMP on YouTube, and I've watched her videos, I've commented on them and stuff, and I did win a giveaway like the very beginning of the year, and I sent her a card to thank you. And so she sent me this little Easter card, and she makes her own cards with Happy Easter in it, and I didn't know what to think, because I've communicated with her, but not to any extent more than in comments. So it really meant a lot that she thought to send me a card, and that she still had my address and stuff. So I guess that's what I'm trying to say with gratitude, because I am very grateful when somebody reaches out unexpectedly like this, and it did make my day a lot better. So if she happens to be watching, or anybody sees my video and wants to let her know, that I'm very grateful for this, and I really appreciate it a lot. So that's my little bit about, sometimes we have to look for the little things in life to be grateful for. And if you can't find it, you just need to look a little harder. So with that being said, I don't want to make this video be super long. I just wanted to hop on here and give my thoughts about a change in perspective, and about gratitude. And I mentioned in my video a couple days ago too that being depressed, I do know that I have a lot of things to be grateful for, and sometimes when I'm in those low moments, I need to take the extra time to focus on that instead. So hopefully this sent a message to somebody who might have needed to hear the same things that I did. And with that being said, I would like to say that I hope you're all having a good day. Don't forget that thumbs up, possibly that subscription button, and leave me a comment. Let me know what you think. So I'm just going to say goodbye, and I hope everyone's having a really good day. See you next time. Bye-bye.